The poster had been stapled to every martial arts school from San Diego to San Francisco. Bold red letters, "The Mountain Challenge, survive 8 seconds, win $50,000. Below that, statistics that read like a casualty report. 150 challengers, 150 defeated. Average survival time 4.2 seconds. At the bottom, one question: are you brave enough? Los Angeles, the Grand Olympic Auditorium, November 15, 1969, Saturday evening. 800 people packed into a venue that smelled like decades of cigarette smoke and sweat. The air was thick, humid from body heat. Spotlight beams cut through haze like prison searchlights. This was the International Martial Arts Exhibition, but everyone knew why they were really here. Viktor Krasnov, the Mountain, 6'3", 450 pounds. Former Soviet wrestler who defected to America in 1963. He discovered something more profitable than medals: fear. The challenge was simple: not win, not fight back, just survive, stay on your feet, stay conscious. 8 seconds. The reward was $50,000. In 1969, enough to buy a house in Beverly Hills. The catch: in 150 attempts across 15 cities, no one had collected, not once. The money sat in a locked briefcase at the edge of the stage under spotlight. Stacks of $100 bills, green, crisp, real, untouched. 3 Golden Gloves boxers had tried in Chicago. Average time 3.9 seconds. 5 Judo black belts in San Francisco. Longest lasted 6.1 seconds before his shoulder dislocated. A college linebacker from USC, 230 pounds. Lasted 4.7 seconds, tapped frantically, unable to breathe. The statistics were posted beside the briefcase. Current record: Takeshi Yamamoto, 7th degree judo black belt, 7.8 seconds. Walked with a cane for 2 months. 3 cracked ribs. 150 men. Different sizes, different styles, same result. Grabbed, lifted, crushed. The mathematics were clear. Mass wins. Physics is undefeated. In row 14, a man in a black sleeveless shirt read the program. His eyes stopped on one number: 4.2 seconds. Average survival time. His name was Bruce Lee, 29 years old, 135 pounds, 5'7". 3 days earlier, his student Dan Inosanto called. "There is something you need to see. Not a demonstration, a problem no one has solved." Dan described Viktor: the size, the strength, 150 attempts, 0 survivors. Bruce asked one question: how does he grab? Dan paused. "What do you mean?" Bruce's voice was patient. "Does he rush? Circle? Reach high or low? Left or right hand first?" Dan thought. "He rushes straight forward, both arms wide like a bear, tries to wrap you in a clinch. Once his arms close, your feet leave the ground and it is over." Bruce was silent for 4 seconds, then spoke quietly. "A bear hug requires both arms around the body. His center line is completely open during approach. Approximately 1.5 seconds of zero protection to throat, solar plexus, ribs." Dan felt cold. He knew what Bruce could do in 1.5 seconds. "You are going to try." It was not a question. "Get me 2 tickets, Bruce said. Good seats. Now they were here. Row 14. The program said 4.2 seconds. Bruce read it twice, folded it, slid it into his pocket. He had memorized the only number that mattered. Not 4.2, not 8, 1.5. The lights dimmed. A spotlight hit center stage. A voice crackled through speakers. Deep, theatrical. "Ladies and gentlemen, the challenge that has defeated every man brave enough to accept. Karate champions, judo masters, professional wrestlers, military instructors, every kind of strong man this country produces has tried." The announcer's voice dropped. "Every single one has failed. The current record is 7.8 seconds before being driven into the stage so hard the wood cracked. He walked with a cane for 8 weeks. The rules are simple. If you are still standing, still conscious after 8 seconds, you win $50,000 cash. The announcer gestured to the briefcase. The spotlight caught the money. It glowed, real, touchable. If you can survive, now welcome the man who has made that money impossible to collect. 6 feet 3 inches, 450 pounds. The mountain. Viktor Krasnov. The stage shook before anyone saw him. The wooden floor vibrated as Viktor walked from behind the curtain. 800 people felt him through their feet. The gasp was collective. Viktor was not fat. He was massive in a way that seemed anatomically wrong. Shoulders wider than door frames, chest like an oil drum, thighs thicker than most men's waists, hands like catcher's mitts. His neck had disappeared into trapezius muscles connecting skull to shoulders. He walked to center stage, did not flex, did not pose. His shadow covered half the stage. He had a ritual, walked to the edge, picked up a wooden folding chair, held it in one hand, closed his fist. The chair compressed, wood crumpled like paper, metal bent like wire. In 3 seconds, a functional chair became a twisted ball, no bigger than a basketball. He dropped it. The sound was dead, final. A woman in row 5 stood and left. She had seen enough. Drop a comment if you think anyone in that room had a chance against 450 pounds of Soviet wrestling machine. 2 challengers went first. A Marine, 230 pounds, lasted 3.4 seconds. Viktor's arms closed around him at 2.1. The Marine's face went white, could not breathe, ribs compressing, tapped at 3.4, 3 fast taps. I surrender, please stop. He sat afterward, gasping, holding his ribs, eyes wet from pressure. A UCLA wrestler, 260 pounds, lasted 5.1 seconds. Shot for Viktor's legs, got 1 step. Viktor's hands found his shoulders, lifted him, feet left ground at 3.8. At 5.1, he tapped, could not breathe, just tapped and hoped Viktor would release. 2 challengers, 2 failures. The briefcase still locked, 50,000 untouched. The crowd had done the mathematics. 152 attempts, 152 defeats. Size is destiny. The announcer scanned the crowd. Anyone else? Last call, $50,000, 8 seconds, silence. Nobody moved. Then a voice, quiet, conversational. I will try. The voice came from row 14. A man stood. Black sleeveless shirt, black pants, no uniform. He was small, significantly smaller than the 2 who just failed. Murmurs spread. Some laughed. Protective laughter. Please do not do this. A woman grabbed her husband's arm. Someone needs to stop him. He will be killed. The announcer hesitated. Sir, are you certain? Full contact. No weight classes. You saw what happened. I saw it clearly, the man said. His voice calm. That is why I am volunteering. Dan Inosanto grabbed Bruce's wrist. Whispered urgent. Bruce, you weigh 135. He weighs 450. 315 pounds difference. This is bone density. Hospital visit. Bruce stood, buttoned his collar. 1.5 seconds, Dan. That is all I need. Bruce Lee walked toward the stage. 800 people watched. Everyone thinking the same thing. This man is about to get hurt. Too small, too light. The 2 who failed had combined 690 pounds over Viktor, still lost. This man looked like he could fit in Viktor's shadow twice. The walk was 40 feet. Bruce covered it in the time it took the audience to feel complicit, like watching someone walk into traffic. He climbed the steps. His feet made no sound. Where Viktor made the floor tremble, Bruce made it whisper, center stage. For the first time, the audience saw them together, Viktor Krasnov and Bruce Lee, side by side. The image was absurd. A man in row 7 shouted, "Do not do it. You do not have to prove anything." Bruce did not turn, already past where words from strangers mattered. The announcer approached with clipboard. Name, Bruce Lee. Weight, 135 pounds. The pen stopped. He looked at Viktor, back at Bruce. 135. Correct. The lightest tonight was 195. Lightest ever 172. You are 135. I can count, Bruce said. The announcer wrote it down. Any medical conditions? None, Bruce said, but have a medical team ready. We always do. For the challenger. Bruce's expression neutral. I was not talking about me. Viktor stood in his corner, heard the stats. 135 pounds, processed this as irrelevant. Whether 135 or 235, result is identical. Grab, lift, drop, next. But something made Viktor look twice. This man's feet were not planted like frightened men, wide, rigid. This man's feet were light, weight forward, not preparing to defend, preparing to attack. Viktor dismissed it. Mountains have no weak points. Everything smaller gets crushed. Subscribe if you want to see whether 135 pounds of precision can survive 450 pounds of mass. The announcer returned. Ladies and gentlemen, our final challenger, Bruce Lee, 135 pounds, Chinese martial arts. The audience applauded sympathetically. A few recognized the name. That is Kato from television. Is he insane? An older Chinese man in row 12 gripped his armrest, said nothing. He knew Wing Chun was designed for survival against bigger opponents in narrow alleyways where size meant nothing. The bell rang. Viktor exploded forward, both arms wide, head down, 450 pounds covering distance in under 2 seconds. This was the moment that ended 152 men. The rush, the tsunami no technique had answered. Every challenger had done one of 3 things. Froze, got grabbed standing still, retreated. Viktor caught them, attacked, techniques bounced off, then grabbed. Every response tried hundreds of times. Freeze, retreat, attack. None worked. Bruce chose option 4, the option that did not exist, moved forward, into the charge, toward 450 pounds of destruction. The audience gasped. Several looked away, did not want to see collision, but Bruce did not collide, was not where Viktor expected. In 1.8 seconds, Viktor crossed the space. Bruce moved forward and left, 18 inches, outside the arc of Viktor's arms. 450 pounds of momentum rushed past like a train. You feel wind, feel ground shake. Remain untouched. Viktor's arms closed on air. First time in 153 attempts, Viktor grabbed nothing. Viktor turned, confused. Never happened. Reset. Charged again. Faster. Angrier. Arms wider. Bruce moved. Same direction. But this time as Viktor's arms swept past, Bruce's hand touched it. 2 fingers on Viktor's wrist. Not pushing. Guiding. The arm traveled 2 inches further than intended. 2 inches. Difference between capture and freedom. Viktor's arms closed behind Bruce, grabbing each other. Viktor hugging himself. 450 pounds stumbling, while 135 stood behind like a matador. The audience could not process it. Brains rejected. This man was not just surviving, making the giant miss. Repeatedly, Viktor's frustration real, breathing heavier. Never worked this hard. Never chased. Viktor charged 3rd time. Every ounce committed. Pure aggression. Mounting coming down. Bruce did not evade. Stepped inside. Close. Inside radius, where grab had no power. Right foot between Viktor's boots. Right hand rose. Open palm aimed at Viktor's chin. Stopped 1 inch away. Not punch message. 1 inch between Bruce's palm and Viktor's jaw. 1 inch between consciousness and darkness. Bruce held it. 1 second. 2, 3. Viktor froze. Eyes crossed, trying to focus on hand below chin. Understood. First time in 153 challenges, Viktor understood he was not most dangerous person on stage. Arena held breath, then detonated. 800 erupted, screaming, standing, stomping floor until it shook harder than Viktor's steps. They witnessed impossible. 135-pound man did not just survive, made surviving look unnecessary. Proved question was never. Could you survive 8 seconds? Real question was, could mountain survive against someone who understood size is wall, but speed is water, and water finds way through? Bruce stepped back, bowed, walked off stage, through auditorium, row 14, sat down, Dan shaking. How many seconds? Bruce picked up program. I was not counting. I was not interested in surviving 8 seconds. The briefcase sat at stage edge. 50,000, untouched. Bruce never collected, never asked. Did not come for money, came to prove physics has exceptions. Years later, 1976, Viktor gave rare interview, asked about that night, paused, stared at hands, spoke quietly. I thought size was everything, had crushed 150 men, then 135-pound teacher showed me I understood nothing about fighting, only grabbing. He taught me in 8 seconds what I should have learned in 8 years, not defeated, educated, painfully, necessarily. Bruce never spoke publicly about it, for him not achievement, just problem needing solving. 150 men tried one way, he tried another, no philosophy, just applied physics. Understanding every wall has door if you know where to look. 800 witnesses, 153 who could not, one who did. November 1969, Night Mountain, met water and discovered mass means nothing when precision finds opening. Share this with someone who needs to understand. Impossible is just a problem no one solved yet. Not because it cannot be, because no one thought to try different approach.